Okay, hi everybody, we're back. I'm going to pass you off to Graham. He's going to explain what he's done and what the next stages are.
Okay, so hi everybody, back again. I'm going to do a little bit more personalising inside here, but just a little bit. And I'll talk to you now about the way that I've styled the hair. So I decided, when I first saw this haircut being done, it was very much like a halo shape, and it was very much iron straight, so that it moved this way and moved that way. But the reason why I've done it like this today is, number one, because it's longer and it won't look nice, with this length of fringe just hanging over the face. But I'm really inspired at the moment. I'm inspired because people are not using straightening irons the way that they used to, where they're just straightening everything out really smooth. Obviously there's this resurgence of, the curly blow dry. Everybody wants to know how to do a curly blow dry and a pin curl set to set those nice curls. But I find something else that's kind of born from that is this very sort of dishevelled, flicky look on longer hair. You'll see it in Vogue, you'll see it in Harper's, you'll see it in Italian Vogue and French Vogue. You'll see a lot of the models wearing this look. At different sort of varying lengths, and it's not like a polished flick. It's a very dishevelled flick, so it still has that rough sort of urban feel to it, and so that's what I decided to go for. And I'm going to give you a little bit of hair research history. So I want you to all, when you've got some time, research Farrah Fawcett Majors. Okay, and it was around the sort of like mid-late 70s, and this type of styling was really very prominent and very trendy, but in a much more sort of glamorous way than what you're seeing now. And I think the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because I think it's really important that you know where something's come from. And we know we all have this terminology that everything keeps spinning round and coming back on the wheel, and that is true. But what I was always taught is that there's nothing wrong with things coming back round, but you should never repeat the original of what you originally saw before it came back round. You should always look at it and think to yourself, right, well, how do I now fit that into youth culture? How do I now fit that into trends and modern trends and, salon commercial trends? And that's the way you have to look at these things. You have to modify everything in a modern and current sort of manner. There is a methodology to cutting hair, and that's what I've always sort of been brought up with. I have a certain language that I use sort of verbally and sort of manually through haircuts. I never ever have, you'll always hear some people say, oh, haircutting's an art, and it's like a piece of wood or a piece of stone or marble, and you chop away at it and get all that nice sculptured look. I don't really look at hair like that. I look at hair like a designer looks at a piece of fabric, and so I look at hair as being fabric, and I look at how we cut angles into that fabric throughout the garment and how we then piece those angles together to give us what is going to be ultimately our final result, and to really showcase our creativity. So anyway, enough of that. I'm just going to go through the top and just do some nice, reasonably deep sort of point cutting through there. Again, same thing, I close my blades as I move out because I want a very soft feathered edge there. There's not really much to be done. Now that's my opinion, but as I'm going back to what I was saying earlier about personalising and creative self-expression and personalising, that it's really in the eye of the beholder when you do stop. I'm taking it to the point where I want it to be, but you might look at it and think, oh, actually, I'd do a little bit more, or I'd take a little bit more weight out here. I might not have the heavy fringe area looking so heavy. I might sort of slice through it and make it look softer. But that's the joy of creative haircutting. And it's also nice. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about before I finished was it's really, really important that your day does not become monotonous in a salon environment, and that it can easily happen. And it can easily happen because you go in and you do the same haircuts day in, day out. You know, think about the haircuts that you're already doing, and think about, you know, well, how can I just change that up a little bit? You know, how can I still create a similar feel to the shape, but add a new dimension into it? And, you know, how do I make my day more enjoyable and creative and a fun day? You know, I'm waking up every morning thinking, oh, I'm going in to do Mrs. Smith's hair today. You know, she has this sort of bog standard layered shape, but I'm going to do something completely different, but I'm still going to keep it long and layered. I think what you've got to be concerned about in a salon environment is that the reason why clients move from stylist to stylist and from a salon to salon and don't really become loyal to you is because you're doing the same thing every time they come in. And they don't necessarily know what it is that they want. They know they just want it to be different than it always is, but yet they can't see it in their mind's eye of exactly what it is that they want, and that's your role. That's for you to see and visualize that image, and then you know, sort of transcribe that over to your client. You know, and even just the subtlest of change that a client can notice will keep your client excited, will keep your client coming back every single time, because then they don't look at themselves as just, I'm just another client, you know, just another 10 o'clock client, another 11 o'clock client. They'll start to feel that you are seeing them as individuals, and that you're treating their hair as individual and personal to them, and that you're not just doing the same old haircut. So I think that's enough for me. I'm going to put a little bit of product. I was thinking about putting a hairspray in there, but then I thought to myself, well, no, I still want it to feel quite light in the way that it moves. So I decided to use some beach spray. And the reason why I'm using the beach spray is because, as I said, this to me is a very 70s inspired feel to the hair, but it's more modern because it's not crisp and clean. It's very, very disheveled and very urban in the way that it looks. So a beach spray, perfect for that. And you know, when you do try this haircut yourselves, style it in many different ways, okay? Put some curl into it, make it straight, flick it. You know, there's so many things that you can do to it. One thing I would say, and again, you've got to remember that this is just a personal opinion, which doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right, but for me personally, this particular haircut does not look good when it has tons of volume. It's meant to sit flat around the hair, and so what you're then showcasing everything is that happening just through, you know, the last sort of 3 or 4 inches to the length. By all means, you know, use a round brush, get some volume in there. You might think to yourself, well, I like it with volume. But, you know, everything's an opinion. It doesn't mean that it's right. You know, you can't take away your creative, your personal sort of creativity. And that's just you looking at things in a different manner. So I hope you like that, everyone. And I really look forward to spending some more time with you and really sort of taking you into a different realm and a different dimension with haircutting. And the end goal being that, you know, you're going to shine in your EPAs, you're going to get distinctions all the way through, and you're going to go into those salons feeling a lot more confident. You're going to enjoy your day more because you're making it a more enjoyable and creative day. So I think the next one that I'm doing is going to be on a shorter shape. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, all right, because I'm going to still think about that. I've kind of got an idea of what I'm going to do, but I'm going to leave you with that now. That is a tangent, okay, a very, very curved shape with straight angles that run all the way through into this circle around here. All right? Yeah.
Just to let all the people know that are viewing this, whether you're viewing it live on our Instagram TV or YouTube channel or Pivot Point Learning Resource, I will be taking a few pictures and video of the final shape to post on our story and also on our newsfeed. You will see us on Instagram Live again next week. For those Michael John learners, please carry on using your Pivot Point learning resources or virtual learning environment to continue with your learning during the November period. And have a great weekend. Keep an eye out on social media, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.